Good to
Hello,
go.
everyone. Thank you so much for attending this evening's Coffee Talk. I am so excited that you're here with us today because we have a special guest, and she's T-Town, born and raised, and most of you guys, if you are watching, will recognize her. And so we are just very blessed in the city of Tolleson to have Crystal Zamora as our city clerk here. And going to be about elections, about all sorts of stuff, city clerk related. So we're going to learn, and you can ask your questions as well too. So if you have questions, you can put them on the chat. And we're also going to have a raffle today for those that have a census raffle, and also just a raffle for participating with us this evening. So I'm glad that everyone can be on. So we are going to be discussing the current pandemic and voting and how it may look a little bit different this year from last year. And Crystal's going to tell us about some changes that when you come to vote in the city of Tolleson, what to expect this year. So Crystal, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm so grateful for you to be on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Mayor. I appreciate it. Voting, as you know, is very important. It's part of our civic duty. So any registered voter in Maricopa County can come to the Tolleson Escalante Center to vote, or they could go to any voting center in the county. You can find the closest vote center to you by visiting this website, and it's locations.maricopa.vote. And there are no longer assigned polling places, so you could go to any vote center. And as parking, we just want to make sure they know where to go exactly. It's best to park at the parking lot that's near the Escalante Center because it's closer. But there's also parking in front of City Hall, of course. Both of them have accessible parking. And then something else that's different this year is there won't be any electioneering that is allowed outside of the vote center. So that's when you see people out there trying to persuade you to vote a certain way, like they have signs and stuff to pass out or booths. Due to the pandemic, we don't want to do this because it's just safer for people to not gather out there. So that means no political signs will be allowed on the property.
Oh, that is good. So, I mean, it is very different. Now, you've explained it. It is different from previous years because we are in a pandemic. And I think as, you know, being one of the areas here in the West Valley, we want to make sure that we're doing everything possible to help slow the spread. And having our voting center here in Tolleson, we just want to make sure everything is safe. But it is different. And I'm so glad that we're making this to people. And that it's not the traditional way that they're going to be used to seeing. But I think with anything in the pandemic, we're getting used to changes and how things need to be adjusted for safety. So I'm thankful that, number one, we have the voting center here in Tolleson. And number two, we're taking all the precautions necessary to make sure if you decide to come to vote, and we hope you do.
Yeah. You just want to always have that option to vote in person, even though the county's shooting for all mail, you know, because I think it's about 70% of the population that is registered for early voting. They get their mail in the ballot, or their ballot in the mail, excuse me. But there's just those others that don't want to register. They want to go in person. So we got to accommodate them.
Yeah, and I think that stems from it maybe being a tradition for them because I was that way, and I would love to come and, you know, come on election day and get my ballot and, you know, have that sticker. But now the stickers come in your early.
Yeah, I have one here actually. If you could see it, it's right on the informational thing. You just peel it off.
So awesome. So yeah, I mean, I too have changed. I mean, I was a traditional, no, I got to go in and vote on that day. It just felt like so it was just part of a tradition, I would say. But I changed because I have gotten my ballot at home just to remain safe as well too. And plus, it gives you plenty of time to do your research on candidates if you
exactly
on it, and you have that time as well too. I know we touched a little bit, Crystal, on some precautions that Maricopa County Elections Office is taking to assure that we're safe to vote. As here in Tolleson, we do have the mask mandate still in effect, and also the made for Maricopa County is still in effect. So please, at any time that you leave your house, always have your mask handy in slowing that community spread of COVID-19. But Crystal, can you share with us the precautions that the voting center will be taking at Esther Angulo's center with those that are on with us?
Sure. The election workers are fully equipped with PPE, so that's including the face masks, the shields, as well as the gloves. And if a voter forgets or doesn't have their mask, one will be given to them. They will also offer gloves as well. And the large locations allow physical distancing at all the centers.
Oh, that is good, because sometimes I know even if you're rushing out of your house, or maybe it's a stop that you're not expecting to make,
Mm-hmm.
have a mask. It's always great that we'll have a mask there ready for you, and all the people that work there, they'll also have the precautions as well too, and making sure everything is safe if you decide to come in person as well too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very, very important, I would say, in making sure that we are staying safe as much as possible on that. And I do have a question, because I have done this before, so I want to see if this has changed in regards to if there's a different protocol now because of the pandemic. So say, for example, I spill some coffee in my ballot, or my one of my 3 dogs just happens to get a hold of my ballot. What do I do? Because I know it may have changed. Or how about if someone just misplaces or loses the ballot that comes?
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, you could visit any vote center and you could just request a new ballot, and they'll just void the ballot that was mailed to you. Another thing that people aren't aware of, or most people, is the curbside voting option. So when you arrive at the vote center, you could call the number and someone will come out to help you cast your ballot, and anyone could take advantage of this. The phone number is 602-506-2307. And that's the main phone number, and then they contact the vote center, and then they go from there. And another thing this year is, if you make a mistake on your ballot, say, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to vote for this one, I need to cross it out. Before, you would have to call the county and ask for a new ballot and then wait for it to be mailed. So it was a long process. Now you could just cross out your mistake and then fill in the corrected oval. And you just send it right into the mail again to the county. And they're doing ovals instead of arrows, if you haven't heard by now. But then a bipartisan board consisting of 1 Republican, 1 Democrat, and an inspector that's neutral. They review the corrected ballot and they'll agree on the intended vote. So that makes the process faster. There's no more mailing back and forth.
And I love how you're mentioning centers, like you could go to any of these centers. Like
that would be the preferred way. Just go in and get another one,
Because I know a lot of the times, when I was at the state level, at the state legislature, I would get a lot of complaints from residents, from different areas, and say, man, I used to always go to this polling, place, and that was the always place I had to go, but now they're telling me I gotta go another place, and that was a lot of confusion.
Yeah, it was.
As you mentioned, these centers, you could be anywhere in Maricopa County and vote at any of these centers.
Yeah. So before, with that problem, it would cause more provisional ballots, and those take longer to get counted, as you know. So that eliminates that. You could just go anywhere. And if you want your ballot mailed to you, you can get your early ballot for the general election. That's on November 3rd. Today was actually the last day to mail in your early ballot for the primary election. So if you haven't done so, just visit a vote center after today. And then BeBallotReady.vote is a good central website to visit for all your election needs. You could call the Maricopa County Elections Department, and that phone number is 602-506-1511, and that's a general number.
Very good. We do have a question. I'm going to go to Jose Herrera, has asked, can I change my party affiliation at the Tolleson voting location and vote for the primary election?
They ask that you do that beforehand online. to change your party affiliation, or even call that phone number and they could process that before you go in and cast your vote.
Okay. So maybe, can you repeat the number for Jose?
Yes, 602-506-1511, or go to beballotready.vote.
Okay. So if Jose goes and does one or the other, calls or goes online, he can change his party affiliation, and then he can still go and vote before, on or before August.
Yes. Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Awesome. That'll be good. So Jose, that answers your question. If you need more clarification, just shoot us another question. But we are putting up the Be Ballot Ready .vote there on our comment section as well too, and then Nico will add our actual phone number as well that Crystal had mentioned, just for you to, in case you can't go online, or if you want to just prefer to talk to someone as well too, you can do that, because we definitely want you to vote and change your party affiliation. That is definitely your prerogative, and you can do it. We just want you to make sure that you're able to vote before the end of election season, because that's what they call it now, right, Crystal?
Yeah, because it's no longer a day. It's like weeks of voting, so it's more of an election season.
Yeah, so we want you to make sure that you can vote before Tuesday. I think it's at the polls close at 7 on
7 p.m. Yeah, Tuesday, August 4th.
So as long as you do that before then, Hussein, I hope that you'll be able to go in and be able to vote and exercise your right, because that is so, so important.
Yes.
Speaking of the dates, Crystal, can you go over the remaining dates that we have open at the Estrangulo Center?
Yes, the next date is tomorrow from 8 to 5, Friday, July 31st from 8 to 5, Saturday, August 1st from 8 to 5, and they are closed on Sunday, August 2nd. And then they'll be open on Monday, August 3rd from 8 to 5, and then of course primary election day on Tuesday, August 4th from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Cool. So plenty of times for you to go and make sure that you're going to be able to vote during those times. So a lot of times, days that you can still go, but as Crystal mentioned, Sunday is the day that they're going to rest, because they've been working very, very hard.
Yes.
Off our poll workers.
We're very thankful for them.
Yes, very, very thankful. And also we're thankful for you in working to get this voting center here in Tolleson, because I just want to mention that not every city, or a small city like ours, not everyone has a voting center. There was criteria that you had to work with the county, with our supervisors that actually set the different how many voting centers that there'll be in Maricopa County. So Crystal's been working it like a storm.
Thank you.
We had a voting center here in Tolleson. It's a big deal because the city of Avondale doesn't have one.
I believe they ended up signing up after that. I thought I saw them on the website.
They followed your lead.
Yeah, but originally they had told them no.
Yes, because it's not a simple process, and it takes some time and that collaboration to work together. And we're thankful that we have Crystal's expertise and knowing that this is what we needed, and we need to do the correct forms and collaborate. So Crystal was the lead on this one, so we thank her tremendously.
Thank you.
Sure that we have access not just for one day, but all these days as well too, and maybe give them a snapshot of what November will look like. Is this going to happen again in November?
It's going to be a similar schedule, so it'll be like 2 weeks leading up to election day, and that's also posted on the City of Tolleson's elections page. Or wait, I haven't put the general up just yet, but after this election we'll put the general schedule up, which has already been established. So similar hours, similar days,
Good. So it's not just this time. It's not one and done. We're going to have another election center where you'll have plenty of days before the actual voting day to come and either drop off a ballot or vote in person as well too. And hopefully we're at a better spot with COVID by then.
But yes.
We're still going to plan as if we're still in a pandemic, and make sure everyone during that time as well too. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything possible to help slow the spread as well too. I did get a request, Crystal. Can you repeat the phone number one more time?
Oh yes, This is the general number, correct?
Yes.
602-506-1511. So 602-506-1511.
Okay, yes. Okay, so now it's now on our chat as well too. So in case you need to
Perfect.
get it as well too. So we have it. So we are right on track with it. So Crystal, I don't have another question that's popped up yet. No, not yet. I'm just checking to make sure. But maybe can you tell us how long you've been working at the City of Tolleson? How did you get your start at the City of Tolleson?
Oh my gosh, I was an ASU student back in 2003. It seems so long ago. And for my internship, I asked the City of Tulsa if I can intern there, and Reyes and John Paul luckily let me. And it was a really good experience. And then I graduated, and then there was an admin position open in the community services department. So I got that, but then that's when Reyes and John Paul both got moved to city management. So then they moved me with them there, or Reyes was assistant city manager at the time, and he became the city manager. And it was about 5 years I was admin, and then I became deputy city clerk for another 5 years, and now I'm city clerk for another 5 years, almost 5.
Yay! Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
That you were raised here in Tolleson. Your mom with your dad as well too, and your brother, your nieces now and nephews. It's just I would say that they're so proud of you. And knowing that you're still serving our city every single day and helping us push forward right now in our city clerk's office. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's such a blessing. I mean, there's no other place I would rather be.
Well, we did get some more questions. One is, can I bring my kids with me to go and vote?
Yes, you can, because no one could be denied the right to vote.
Very, very good. So that's awesome to know. I know, as a mom, well, I have big kids now. They're not small, but when they were small, that was an issue of like they had to.
Yeah. You didn't have a babysitter, especially now during this time. They're always going to be with you.
Yeah. And then also, if you don't have a mask, don't worry. We'll have a mask.
Yes.
We want to make sure our kiddos are able to. So go ahead.
Yes.
It's so important for everyone to come and vote. And we don't want
definitely.
We don't want any barriers for you to prevent you from voting as well.
Yes.
Okay. Then we got this is a good one. It's like, where can you look up election results? Because everyone's so excited about, Tuesday, and they're like, well, when do we know results? Do we watch the TV? What?
Well, there's different ways. We actually have this link on our elections page as well, or you could visit maricopa.vote. But the direct link for the results is actually recorder.maricopa.gov/election results. I could put that in the chat as well. Let me just try to, instead of making me go do that. Let's see here. There we go. No, I sent that to Nico privately. Let me put all panelists and attendees. There we go. Sorry about that.
And so let's say the polls close at 7. When can someone log on to this website and have numbers?
They always say about 8 p.m. And those results are usually the early ballots, because you still got to count all the votes from the vote centers and provisional ballots. So it takes a while. That's why it's even up to 2 weeks before you get your official results.
So how about with ours, we got them at home, we sent them in already. Does that mean that the votes that, my husband and I sent, have those been voted already?
Yeah, those will be in those unofficial results around 8 p.m. on election night.
Very good.
So that's why it's so good to get them in early.
Yes, yeah, so that make sure it's counted. And I know in elections that we've had, not only statewide, but I noticed it more statewide as well too, that it was taking longer, for it to happen. And then I know of, and this is the question as well too, of what if there's a tie? Like what
Yeah,
happened?
and we've had that before, but depending on how many votes they receive in comparison to the other candidates, and if they meet the majority, the two possibilities are they both go to the runoff election in November, or only one does after winning by lot, which is what we went through. We had to do the lot where we had the cards. They pick a card, and whoever had the highest value went to the general election. It was like such I don't know, just an experience I'll never forget, because you feel so bad that it has to be done that way, but that's the state statute.
And that, I think that goes back to the very issue is like, don't take it for granted, because every vote truly does.
It does. Just one vote would have changed that. We wouldn't have had to do it.
So make sure that you make time to vote this season on or before Tuesday, before 7 p.m. And making sure that you exercise your right to vote, because I don't think any candidate who's running wants to be in a tie.
No, definitely not. It's stressful.
too hard.
Yes.
And that as well too. So this is great information as well too. And I'm just double checking just to make sure that we don't have any more questions, because we don't want to miss anyone's questions. And there isn't a dumb question as well too, because we have the expert here with us. Because there's things that have changed, voting during a pandemic as well too. And who best to ask is our expert city clerk, straight from Tolleson.
You're so sweet.
Who cares so much about our community. Her heart is in the right place. She serves with so much passion, and she's here to help. I mean, even if you were to call her, and if you can't get your question in tonight, you can call her. You can look on our website, our Tolleson website, for contact information, or just call 936-7111 and say, hey, I want to talk to that amazing city clerk. That's Crystal Zamora. And you could ask her a question, you can email her a question, and she'll answer it, because there's so much that is changing. Trained on this every single day. There's changes that happen from the county, from the state level, and she's the first one to know about it. And she educates us all at the city as well too. And she's here to educate our community on voting, and making sure you have all the information, because it is, frustrating when you don't have that information. But she's here to offer all her help and her expertise, just to make sure that you have all the information.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, call me anytime.
And then plus, she's just had a birthday, so like she's still 21 on
You just told me that earlier. It's my good wrinkle cream, I guess.
It is your good wrinkle cream. That's awesome. I'm gonna get some. But if we don't have any more questions, we do have our raffle, and we're approaching the 6:30 mark. We have about 4 minutes. So if Nico, if you can come on, or if it's Pilar, that we're going to do our raffle for our census, I believe, first. And our census gift card is going to be by Tacos Calafia. And if you haven't tried that taco place, well, you know what? You're missing out.
Yes, definitely.
So
all right. We have one person, and we're going to spin. Hopefully he wins. This is actually Tacos Calafia for the 2020 Tolleson Count Census Challenge. So this challenge was to participate in the census and submit your form online and send us over your screenshot of your completed census page. So I believe his name is Kenny Camacho. He sent his. He's the only one, so let's give him a whirly here. So Kenny Camacho, he's not on right now, but he because he submitted this, he is our winner. So we will get a hold of Kenny. So now Jose Herrera, let me double check and make sure we didn't have a last minute person. I don't think we did. So Jose, this is going to be a given to you, but we're still going to spin. Cross your fingers. All right, Jose, congratulations. If you can, please get on the chat and send us, put your email address, we will get a hold of you there, or email us at publicaffairs@tollesonaz.org. That way we know how to send this over to you. It'll be probably electronic, an electronic way, a format of sending it to you. So we need your email address. So Jose, congratulations. Please get a hold of us, and we'll find a way to, we'll get this over to you as soon as we can.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks,
Nico.
Jose.
Oh, he's already put in his email there. So we'll
Nice.
contact Jose and we'll make sure that you get the $50 gift card for attending tonight and asking your question. That was great of you asking a question. To Cameron Gigante, and they're right off of 83rd Avenue in Van Buren, next to the Circle K and that new retail area that we have, and they're delicious. So if you love seafood, that's the place to go because they have some food there.
Yes.
I recommend that, what is it, the stuffed jalapeno poppers with the shrimp? What are they called? They're called something, but they're so good.
It's wrapped in bacon.
Yes, it's so good.
Anything is going to be great.
Or fried.
Give it a whirl there. The owners are, just a great family that live here in the West Valley as well too. So support our small businesses along with Kenny for Tacos Calafia. They're on 99th Avenue and McDowell. That's a great other place to try out as well too. So again, Crystal, I just want to thank you for being on with us this evening and being our special.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Absolutely. And again, if you have any other follow-up questions for Crystal, always know she's available for you as well too. But hitting the 6:30 mark, and just want to say, if you haven't participated in our census, please do so. We're very excited here in Tolleson, and we want to beat out all the other West Valley cities. And I will do a teaser because I am working on another incentive contest, which is going to be huge. It's going to be big. There's no other city that's going to compare to it. So we're going to need everyone's participation on it. So stay tuned on that announcement. That'll come out soon, and we will make sure that we are the highest city in the entire state of Arizona, because so much of that census response and participation is tied directly to our to the money that comes from the federal government to fund very, very important programs here in our city. So please participate if you haven't, because I'm going to keep bugging you until Halloween. But again, thank you so much, Crystal, for being on board. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon at our next Coffee Pod. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.